हेलो फ्रेंड, आज हम लोग जो है इंडियन सिविलाइजेशन एंड कल्चर को जो ये चैप्टर है इसको हम लोग आज रीड करते हैं। ठीक है, तो हम रीड करते हैं। बुक को आप लोग ध्यान से सुनेंगे और हमें रिपीट करेंगे, तो आपका ये जो है बुक रीडिंग है आपका इनहेंस होगा। जैसे है इंडियन सिविलाइजेशन एंड कल्चर, जैसे आपको पता है इसको सिविलाइजेशन नहीं पढ़ते हैं, शिवलाइजेशन पढ़ते हैं, क्योंकि यहाँ पे शिव क्या जी, यहाँ पे जो भी के बाद में आई है ये अ का साउंड देता है, तो इसको पढ़ेंगे सिविलाइजेशन एंड कल्चर। ये जो लिखा गया महात्मा गांधी के द्वारा। इस देखेंगे क्या जी, मोहनदास करमचंद गांधी 1869-1948, popularly known as Bapu or the father of the nation, was more a spiritual leader than a politician। इसको पॉलिटिशियन नहीं, पॉलिटिशियन पढ़ते हैं, पॉलिटिशियन। यहाँ पे एल के बाद में आई है वो अ का साउंड देता है, पॉलिटिशियन। ही successfully used truth and non-violence as the chief weapons against the British rule in India and helped India gain independence from 1915 till 1948. He completely dominated Indian politics. He died at the hand of fanatic on 30 January 1948. His autobiography, My Experiments with Truth, and the numerous articles that he wrote for Young India and he speeches that he delivered on different occasions reveal him not only as an original thinker but also as a great master of chaste, idiomatic English. In the following extract, Indian Civilization and Culture, Gandhi talks about the sound foundation of Indian civilization which has successfully withstood the passage of time. The Western civilization, which has that the tendency to privilege materiality, cannot match the Indian civilization that elevates the moral being. आगे देखेंगे, I believe that the civilization India has evolved is not to beaten in the world. Nothing can equal the seed sown by our ancestors. Rome went, Greece shared the same fate. The might of the pharaohs was broken. Japan has become westernized of China. Nothing can be said, but India is still somehow or other sound at the foundation. The people of Europe learned their lessons from the writings of the men of Greece or Rome, which exist no longer in their former glory. In trying to learn from them, the Europeans imagine that they will avoid the mistakes of Greece and Rome. Such is their pitiable condition. In the midst of all this, India remains immovable, and that is her glory. It is a charge against India that her people are so uncivilized, ignorant, and stolid that is not possible to induce them to adopt any changes. It is a charge really against our merit, what we have tested and found true on the anvil of experience. We dare not change. Many trust their advice upon India and share remains steady. This is her beauty. It is the seat anchor of our hope. Civilization is the mode of conduct which points out to man the path of duty. Performance of duty and observance of morality are convertible term. To observe morality is to attain mastery over our minds and our passions. So doing, we know ourselves. The Gujarat equivalent for civilization means good conduct. If this definition be correct, then India, as so many writers have shown, has nothing to learn from anybody else, and this is as it should be. We notice that the mind is a restless bird. The more it gets, the more it wants, and still remain unsatisfied. The more we indulge in our passions, and the more unbridled they become. Our ancestors therefore set a limit to our indulgence. They show that happiness was largely a mental condition. A man is not necessarily happy because he is rich, or unhappy because he is poor. The men are often seen to be unhappy, the poor to be happy. Millions will always remain poor. Observing all this, our ancestors dissuaded us from luxuries and pleasures. We have managed with the same kind of plough as existed thousands of years ago. We have retained the same kind of cottage that we had in former times. In our indigenous education remains the same as before. We have had no system of life correcting competition. Each followed his own occupation or trade and charged a regular wage. It was not that we did not know how to invent machine, but our forefathers knew that if we set our hearts after such things, we would become slaves and lose your moral fiber. Therefore, after due deliberation, decided that we should only do what we could with our hands and feet. They saw that our real happiness and health consisted in proper use of our hands and feet. They further reasoned that large cities were a snare and a useless encumbrance, and that people would not be happy in them, that there would be gangs of thieves and robbers, prostitution and vice flourishing in them, and that poor men would be robbed by rich men. They were therefore satisfied with small villages. They saw that kings and their swords were inferior to the sword of ethics. And they therefore held the swearings of the earth to be inferior to the rishis and the fakirs. A nation with a constitution like this is fitter to teach other than to learn from others. This nation had courts, lawyers and doctors, but they were all within bounds. Everyone knew that these professions were not particularly superior. Moreover, because these vakils and vaids did not rob people, they were considered people's dependents, not their master. Justice was tolerably fair. The ordinary rules was to avoid courts. There were no tours or lures people in them. This evil too was noticeable only in and around capitals. The common people lived independently and followed their agriculture occupation. They enjoyed true home rule. ये हम लोग 8 तक पढ़े, रीड किए, फिर हम लोग आगे नेक्स्ट कल करेंगे. तब तक के लिए धन्यवाद.